may have to and reconnect, but if quorum is not an issue, I may just have to leave because I'll be driving.
Okay, thank you.
You're good to begin, Chair, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. Well, it is 9:01, so let's get the procedures going here. My name is Martin Shipson. I will be the chairperson of the Committee of Adjustment, and I call the meeting to order at 9:01. Now, the committee members include members of council. However, we sit at this table as the Committee of Adjustment and not as members of council. Our jurisdiction lies solely with matters of consents and minor variations, variance applications, and the secretary of this committee is Alicia Milne. And this is a hearing to consider applications for minor variances and consents within the Township of Southgate and is held under the provisions of the Planning Act 1990. This hearing will be in accordance with the Provincial Planning Act, the Municipal Act, and the Township of Southgate Official Plan. And I will add to that, I am looking at the screen with everyone on it. I am looking at another screen with all the maps and things, so feel free to yell if I don't see or respond, so we'll just try and keep them going that way. Anyway, with that being said, may I have a confirmation of the agenda? Mover, seconder. Joan, you move. Seconded by?
Barb.
Barb. Okay, thank you. Be resolved that the committee confirm the agenda as presented. Declaration of pecuniary interest. If there are, you can say them now. Good morning, Brian. If you could say them now. If not, anytime during the committee, you can do so as it arises. And we'll go into the adoption of the minutes. Can I get approval of the minutes from the previous meeting? A mover, seconder. Joan again. Seconder.
Brian has his hand up.
Brian.
Okay, sorry, I'm not on full screen here. I'll do something there. Thank you, Brian. Okay. Be resolved that the committee approve the minutes from the April 24th, 2024 meeting as presented. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, we'll take that as carried. Okay, so reports of municipal officers. I take it back to you, Alicia, I think.
Thanks, Martin. I don't have anything further to add to my report. If anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Great. Okay. Does anyone on the committee have any questions regarding this file? I guess we need a mover first, don't we? Sorry. PL 2024043 consent file B122 Ted Atchison, conditions of consent extension, moved by and seconded by Joan again. Seconded.
Barb has her hand up, but I'm not sure if she's seconding it or if she has a question.
Yeah. Do you have a question, Barb?
No, I think she's seconding it.
She's seconding it. Okay. Okay. So be resolved that the Committee of Adjustment received staff report PL 2024-043 as information, and that the committee grant an extension to meet the conditions of consent for application B122 Ted Atchison with a final date of December 31st, 2024 to meet all conditions as approved at the May 25th, 2022 Committee of Adjustment hearing. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. Okay. I'm trying to get everybody on my screen, Alicia. I got the bar up top and I'm kind of going back and forth. How in the world do I get it for everybody to come on? I apologize for this.
Do you have your view set to gallery? Up at the top, there's a view option.
Oh, okay.
If you select gallery, that should show you everybody.
Oh, that is awesome. I thank you very much. Okay, good to go. Okay, so the hearing, I will ask that anyone speaking about an application to state their full name and address for the record. Please keep all remarks relevant to the consent or minor variance application before us, as the Committee of Adjustment has no jurisdiction on any other matters. Any material submitted to the committee for viewing will remain the property of the Committee of Adjustment and will be available for public viewing in the application file and may be placed online. So please direct all remarks and questions to myself, the chairperson of the committee. And this will enable the hearing to be conducted in an organized manner. So the first file, 6.1, B424 Edwin and Ellen Baring, Fairbanks Creek School. And the purpose of the application B424 is to sever the subject lands to create a lot for the existing Fairbanks Creek School. The proposed severed lot containing the existing school would have about 90 meters frontage on Southgate Road 8, 93 meters of depth, and about 0.84 hectares of lot area. The retained lot is irregular in shape and contains a farm residence and outbuildings with 345 meters frontage on Southgate Road 8. 1,050 meters depth and 62 hectares in a lot. So the effect of the proposed consent application B424 is to sever a lot to contain the existing Fairbanks Creek School and to retain a 62-hectare irregular shaped farm parcel. A rezoning application has been submitted to apply the applicable zoning to the proposed severed lot containing the school. And the location, excuse me, of the subject land, concession 7 North Part Lot 1, Gore A, RP, 16R6693 Part 1, Geographic Township of Egremont, Township of Southgate, also known as 411361 Southgate Road, Side Road 41. Is there a request for deferral or withdrawal of the application?
Through the chair, there have been none received.
Thank you, Alicia. So we can move on. May I please, Alicia, have a clarification that the sign was posted?
Yes, through the chair, sign was posted and notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to bring it up on the other laptop here. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, it's up to you. Our junior planner, Victoria Mance. Would you like to review all the comments received and present your report?
Mr. Chair, I think I'm going to do this one, and Victoria is going to take over after.
Very good, Bill. Go ahead then, sir.
Good to see everyone this morning. This property is at the intersection of Southgate Side Road 41 and Southgate Road 8. It's, as been mentioned, it's kind of an irregular shaped parcel. The farmhouse has access to the side road, and the school, which was rezoned and established within the last 10 years, sits fronting on Side Road 8. As has been mentioned, that the intent here is to put the school on its own parcel of land. And the applicant has submitted a planning report prepared by Cuesta, and that is referenced in our report and in the application information online, and it's supporting the creation of the lot with the school on it. One of the interesting points that the report identifies is that the actual location of the school doesn't quite sit where the rezoned area is and there's a map on page 3 of our report at the top that it's taken from their report. It shows the A1, I think it's a 333 zone, on the property, and then the actual parcel to be created is, sorry, an A1355 zone. The actual parcel to be created is slightly east of that location. But it is designated rural. There is hazard land on the property. We have looked at the configuration of the school site, and we can address the zoning of it, and relocating that zoning to correspond with the lot during the application that is before public planning later on. But the CF zone for uses that are without sewer and water, this lot would comply with. It's a 30 meters frontage, 300 square meters lot area, and so forth. The existing school building is slightly closer to the front lot line than is allowed under that CF zone, but because that's existing, any expansion, if it were to be granted, and if the zoning does move forward and the lot is created, any expansion would have to be to the back and or side of the school building without the meeting the required front yard setback. Because the school is existing, because the zoning does not exactly correspond with where the school has actually been located, because the township official plan permits rural, within the rural designation, permits institutional uses such as this for the horse and buggy community, we have supported the application, and we've proposed 4 conditions that are standard. I should note that in the county comments, they identified an aggregate resource area, which is partially or significantly on the proposed parcel that the school is already situated on. The county goes through several other criteria that agree and support with the application, but at the end of their comments, they do not support the application due to the presence of this aggregate resource designation on it. In other words, it's supposedly has pit or quarry resources that they are trying to protect. This is addressed in the applicant's planning report, and they talk about the presence of wetland and on the site. We looked at that from in terms of balancing the official plan policies that allow institutional uses and the fact that the school is already there, and the need to correct the zoning and allow for expansion of a use that's appropriate and important to the horse and buggy community. And that's why we're supporting the application with conditions. We're not discounting the aggregate resource area, but concede that the existing use that's there and the fact that at the very best, it's a limited resource. That's our position. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure. Is the applicant in attendance? And if so, would they care to come forward to present their case?
Okay, you can hear me, I assume?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thanks for this opportunity. My name's Don Scott with Questa Planning Consultants in Owen Sound, and we have been working with Mr. Mark Fry on behalf of the Fairbanks Creek School, as well as Mr. Behringer, to finally get a lot for the school and schoolyard that has been in existence since 2014. And I would support Mr. White's report. I think he's done a thorough job of looking at it. The only conflict, as he noted, was with regard to the aggregate designation in the county official plan. Now, we looked at, we recognized that there's only about 5 hectares on the Behringer property, and I should note that the resource has really been limited by the amount of residential development north of Side Road 8 and along on Southgate Road 41. it is really, as a company that does a lot of aggregate work, it's one of the least desirable sites to start an aggregate operation. I would say that the surrounding land use has basically made it very, not really feasible to open up any significant type of operation. One of the things that was missed in the county comments was the fact that the school is there. And it's already creating a problem, as is the residential development for any aggregate operation. By putting a property line around it, you're not going to have any more impact than already exists on the aggregate, on the potential to remove aggregate from the Behringer site. So I don't think this is going to create, I know it's not going to create any more restriction on the aggregate designation. So I'm just going to be, I know planners have a difficulty in not in talking too much, so I'm just going to recommend that you adopt Mr. White's report, and I would be happy to answer any comments you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Monica, thank you.
You're welcome, Chairman. Good morning, everybody. And I wanted to thank Mr. I see one user, but I think your name is different. Sorry about that. Could you tell me your name again? Sorry.
Don Scott.
Don, thank you, Mr. Scott. And thank you for that clarification, because that answered a lot of my questions that I had, that the school is already there, from what you mentioned. I also just want to commend the effort to provide specialized education facilities that cater to the needs of the Mennonite community, recognizing the transportation limitations and cultural requirements. One of the questions I had through you, Chair, to Bill, I believe, would just be with regards to the MDS, minimum distance separation compliance. I was just wanting to ask if you could confirm that the proposed severance and the location of the school comply with the MDS formulae, and what are the current distances from nearby livestock operations?
I may, I don't, if I may through the chair, I don't have the distances, but both the applicant's report and the county report, I believe, addressed MDS and said it was complied with. But I don't have the distances.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? If there isn't, I just have a comment to agree. Joan, go ahead then. Did you have your hand up, Don?
Yes.
Okay, Joan first then, if you don't mind. Go ahead, Joan.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Through the chair, to Mr. White, I read the report from Saugeen Valley and also from the county, and I know you said there are conditions. I'm just asking, are these conditions being met, or are they being worked on in order to complete it and to get into compliance?
If I may, yeah, we're recommending 4 conditions. So if committee sees fit to approve it, then those 4 conditions would address, I think, the things that the township needs to be concerned about as far as this application goes. And then one of those conditions relates to the rezoning, and I believe that's before Public Planning Committee this afternoon.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Joan. Don, go ahead.
Just briefly on the MDS, we always do a calculation because it's a compulsory request under the provincial policy statement, as well as the county and municipal official plans. And the closest barn is 435 meters to the northeast. And the setback only requires 271 meters. So we're well within the MDS setback.
Great, thank you. And I just have a comment. Looking at the at the map showing the aggregate areas, where the school is mostly under farmland, and all those subdivisions there are state subdivisions. And so as both of the planners have said, it is very unlikely that there'll be a gravel pit there. And there is a large portion of aggregate resource to the west of it. So thank you for bringing that up. Last round for questions, if any. Okay.
Barbara.
Barbara? Sorry, Barb. Go ahead.
Quite all right. Thank you, Chair Shipton. Through you to Bill White. If you could just clarify, I know the school was created back in 2014. The school already exists, so all of those requirements have been met to permit the school on the farm property. Why is it going to be severed? Is this the normal practice? It should have been severed back in the day, or is this to allow for some other expansion? I know the mention of the potential to expand the school or the community facility. Could you just clarify, please?
Right. Through you to, or through the chair to the deputy mayor. I guess normal practice probably would have been to put it on its own lot. I'm not sure why it wouldn't have been done 10 years ago, other than perhaps they thought it might be an issue with the aggregate resource area back then. I'm not sure. I think the zoning that was written is, at the time, the A1355 exception zone didn't have a lot of detail in it, so I guess it maybe started out as quite a modest school, and then now it's become something much more than that needs to have its own separate lot and needs to have the ability to expand. So all I can say is that the zoning that was written back then was quite limited, and it must have been a choice at the time not to have it on its own lot, but apparently it has now grown to, or likely to grow, and having it on its own lot and able to stand on its own from an operation perspective and allow for expansion is important, and also to get the zoning actually to reflect the lot, that the location of the school as it already exists. I think that's important too. So I can't speak to why they wouldn't have done it, but I would have said back then that this should have been done. It would have been preferable to try and do back then, to give it some expansion potential and to have it on its own lot. But for whatever reason, they chose not to do that.
Thank you. It's reassuring that we're cleaning up this file for the growing community in the area, but recognizing that there, as the chair indicated, this is quite a developed area with estate lots. So any other restrictions would have already been considered. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barb. Are there any more questions? If not, we'll carry on. Okay. Are there any others in attendance that would like to speak in support of this application? Seeing and hearing none. Are there any others in attendance that would like to speak in opposition of this application? Hearing and seeing none, I will again ask everyone in the committee if there's a requirement for further discussion, reviews, or ask any conditions are required, if not already mentioned. Okay, seeing none. So may I request a mover and a seconder to grant, refuse, or defer the application?
Chair Sipton, I
Yes.
move to grant. Barbara DeBreen.
Thank you. All in favor?
We need a
Thank you,
second.
seconder.
Oh, seconder, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Okay. That is carried to grant. And I have to read the full resolution from the agenda, do I?
Crackman.
Pardon?
That has to read the resolution and call opposed.
Do you have it up, Martin, or do you want me to read it?
Yeah, if you could, I've lost it on my other computer. If you could do
No,
that,
that's okay.
thank you very much.
So the resolution is be it resolved that the Committee of Adjustment receives staff report PL 2024-040 for information and that the severance be approved with the following conditions: that the appropriate Planning Act application be approved and in full force and effect to recognize the actual location of the existing school, proposed lot frontage and area, as well as the existing front building setback. That standard conditions regarding parkland dedication, driveway access, and similar apply as recommended by other agencies and township departments, including that all requirements of the township, financial or otherwise, be addressed to the satisfaction of the township staff prior to issuance of a certificate of consent, that a reference plan of survey be provided, and that all outstanding taxes, fees, and charges are paid, if any.
Great. Okay. Anyone opposed? That is carried. Okay, thank you. Next on the docket is B324, Kevin Gerber. I'll find that later. The purpose of this application, B324, is to sever the subject lands to create a lot containing a surplus farm dwelling. The severed lot would have 78.4 meters frontage on Highway 6, 107.7 meters deep, and 0.82 hectares lot area. The retained lot is irregular in shape with 1,200 meters frontage on Highway 6, 908 meters depth, and 85.6 hectares lot area. The effect of this proposed consent application B324 is to create a lot containing the two-story brick surplus farm dwelling while retaining an 85.6 hectare farm parcel, both with access to Highway 10. And the location of this subject land is Concession 1, Part Lot 27, Part Division 1, Lot 28, Geographic Township of Egremont, Township of Southgate, also known as 311371, Highway 6. And was there a request for deferral or withdrawal of this application?
Through the chair, there have been none received.
Okay, thank you. Can I have also clarification signs were posted?
Yes, through the chair, sign was posted and notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act.
Okay, that's great. So, Bill, you said Victoria can take over from here? Okay, well, Victoria, there
Good
you go.
morning. Yeah, thank
Good
you very
morning.
much, Chair. Okay, so as mentioned, this application is to sever to create a 0.82 hectare parcel with the existing farm cluster along Highway 6. It's currently zoned Agricultural 1 and Environmental Protection. And the proposed severed lot requires a rezoning to address the lot frontage and area requirements and any other deficiencies. As mentioned, the retained lot is irregular in shape, and it's a total of 85.6 hectares. And the rezoning of this parcel would prohibit any future residential development. Agricultural use of the retained lot would continue. There are some barns located to the southeast along Highway 6. And the lands are designated agricultural and hazard lands. Lot creation is generally discouraged in agricultural designation, with the exception of severance for surplus farm parcel, where the retained parcel is rezoned to prohibit future residential use of any kind, which is applicable for this application. The retained parcel meets the minimum 40 hectare lot area and the 200 meter frontage requirements for the A1 zoning. The proposed severed lot would be deficient in lot frontage. It's 78.4 meters and an area of 0.82 hectares, but this would be addressed in future rezoning along with any site-specific provisions. So based on township staff's review, the surplus farm severance, we believe is consistent with the PPS and the official plan, with the rezoning as a condition of the severance to prohibit any future residential development. The proposed severed lot also requires a rezoning to address the deficient lot frontage and area under A1 zoning. And if committee has any questions, we can answer.
Very good. Thank you, Victoria. Is the applicant in attendance? I believe I did see him. Can you come forward and present your case? Any questions?
Yeah, that would be Kevin, myself.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Gerber, and I have no questions.
Very good. Do any of the committee members have any questions for Victoria or the applicant? Monica, go ahead.
Thank you so much for that. It's just through you, Chair, to Bill. Again, just trying to find my question here. For the rezoning requirements and compliance, the proposal does include conditions to rezone the retained lot to prohibit future residential development. Can you provide more details on the rezoning process, timeline, and anticipated challenges ensuring compliance with this condition? I just wanted to take on one quick question to that as well, just with regards to community feedback. Have there been any responses or concerns raised by the property owners within the 60 meters notification radius? And if so, are there any primary points that you would like to share? So I know those are kind of two separate questions, but maybe you may be able to answer them together, or how you see fit.
Sorry, Monica, was it towards me or towards Bill?
I apologize to you, Victoria. I'm
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
no worries.
Bill is like right center in my screen, so I'm
That's
sorry
okay.
about that, Victoria.
That's okay. So for the rezoning, when we have a farm severance, like a surplus severance, you want to rezone the farm parcel to not allow residential development. So that's what would happen. I believe it's coming to public planning this afternoon. And then it goes forward, it goes to council then. But it would be addressed, and I don't believe there's any public concerns that I'm aware of. This is a pretty regular thing within Southgate, where we have a surplus farm severance, and they just want the farm cluster along the highway, and then they would just continue agricultural use along the retained lot.
Thanks, Victoria.
Any others? Seeing none, any other people on the meeting that would like to speak in support of this? Seeing none, anyone in opposition to this file? Seeing none. Again, ask committee members if there's any more questions. Not seeing none. So may I request a mover and seconder to grant, refuse, or defer the application? Monica, you move it. May I have a seconder, please? Joan, thank you. So the decision of the committee, read resolution in full from agenda. Okay, be resolved, the Committee of Adjustment received this report, PL 2024039, and that the severance be approved with the following conditions. Number one, that the required rezoning to prohibit residential uses on the retained lot, as well as lot frontage, area, and other applicable regulations for the severed lot be approved and in full force and effect. Number two, that standard conditions regarding parkland dedication, driveway access, and similar apply as recommended by other agencies and township departments, including that all requirements of the township, financial or otherwise, be addressed to the satisfaction of the township staff prior to issuance of a certificate of consent. Number three, that a reference plan of survey be provided. And four, that all outstanding taxes, fees, and charges are paid, if any. So the decision of the Committee of Adjustment is to grant. And we had a mover and seconder. Any opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. Thank you very much. And we will move on to B524 Dennis, Vicky Douglas, and Alan Hall. And the purpose of file B524 is to sever the existing surplus farmhouse and outbuildings from the subject lands. The proposed severed lot contains the existing home, garage, and shed with 95 meters frontage on Southgate Road 26, 130 meters in depth, 1.137 hectares lot area, and is irregular in shape. The retained lot will be used for agricultural purposes with 405 meters fronting on Southgate Road 26, 1,250 meters depth, and 46.5 hectares lot area. A concurrent rezoning application was submitted to address site-specific zoning conditions for the surplus farm residence on the severed lot and to rezone the retained lot to prohibit a new residential dwelling from being constructed. So the effect of this proposed application is to sever the surplus farm home, garage, and outbuildings, while the remaining agricultural property, which is to be rezoned to prohibit a new residential dwelling on site. And the location of the subject land is Concession 19, Lot 4, Geographic Township of Proton, Township of Southgate, excuse me, also known as 265-155 Southgate Road 26. Is there a request for deferral or withdrawal of this application, Alicia?
Through the chair, there have been none received.
Okay, and clarification that the sign was posted?
Yes, through the chair, sign was posted and notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act.
Great, thank you very much. So, Junior Planner Victoria, you're up again.
Thank you, Chair.
You're more than
Again, this
welcome.
application is the proposed severance of a 1.137 hectare parcel, which contains the farm cluster as mentioned along Southgate Road 26. It does have driveway access as well. The parcel is zoned agricultural 1 and environmental protection, with the Saugeen River running actually north to south through the northeastern corner of the property. The land is designated agricultural. Again, lot creation is typically discouraged except in a circumstance of a severance with a surplus farm dwelling from an agricultural operation, which is applicable for this application. The retained lot meets the 40 hectare lot area and 200 meter frontage requirement for A1 zoning, but requires a rezoning, as mentioned, to prohibit a new residential dwelling. The proposed severed lot will be deficient in lot frontage and lot area, which will be addressed in the future rezoning. So based on township staff's review, this proposal for surplus farm severance should include a rezoning to prohibit any future residential use to comply with the PPS and official plans. As well, as mentioned, the severed lot is deficient in lot frontage and area, and could also be addressed in the same rezoning application for the retained lot. And we're here if the committee has any questions.
Okay. Well, if the applicant is in attendance, would they care to come forward to present their case? I don't believe they are, so we can move forward to questions from the committee. Are there any? I don't see anybody, so are there any others in attendance that would like to speak in support of this application? Seeing
I
none.
don't know if you can, I don't know if
Hello?
you can hear us. Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're the owners here, so yeah, we don't have any problems with what you're saying.
Okay, that's great then. So thank you very much. Are there any others in attendance that are in a opposition of this application? And seeing none, again, for everybody on the committee, last wrap up, any questions for Victoria or the applicant even? Seeing none. May I request a mover and seconder to grant, refuse, or defer
Barbara,
this application? Barbara, go ahead.
I will move to grant. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, and Monica, you're seconding that? Thank you, Monica. Okay, so the resolution is be resolved that the Committee of Adjustment receives staff report PL 2024-041. Excuse me. That a severance for information and that severance be approved with the following conditions. That number one, a rezoning be in full force and effect prohibiting future residential use of the retained lot, frontage area, and any other deficiencies for the severed lot in the agricultural one zone. Number two, that standard conditions regarding parkland dedication, driveway access, and similar apply as recommended by other agencies and township departments, including that all requirements of the township, financial or otherwise, be addressed to the satisfaction of the township staff prior to issuance of a certificate of consent. Number three, that a reference plan of survey be provided. And four, that all outstanding taxes, fees, and charges are paid, if any. With that being said, anyone opposed? The decision of the committee is to grant the application. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. The next one on the docket is B624 Melmar Industries, Inc. The purpose of file B624 is to sever the subject lands into two farm parcels. The proposed severed lot would be 410.9 meters frontage on Southgate Road 12, 1,006 meters depth along unopened section of Side Road 19, and 41.22 hectare lot area. The retained parcel would have 399 meters frontage on Southgate Road 12, 1,006 meters depth, and 40 hectares lot area. And the effect of this proposed application is to sever the subject lands to create two farm parcels, each contain a future farm building sites. An application to rezone the severed lot has been submitted to permit an on-farm diversified use on the future farm parcel, file C1224. And the location of the subject land is concession 8, lot 28 to 29, geographic township of Proton, township of Southgate, also known as 126282 Southgate Road 12. Was there a request for deferral or withdrawal of an application?
Through the chair, there have been none received.
Great, thank you. And clarification, the sign was posted?
Yes, through the chair, the sign was posted and notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act.
Great, thank you. Okay, Victoria?
Thank you, Chair. Okay. Again, it's proposed severance for the creation of 41.22 hectare farm parcel. The retained parcel will be 40 hectares, south of Southgate Road 12 and east of an unopened section of Southgate Side Road 19. Just to note, the agent for this application did provide an updated site plan just yesterday with the relocation of some proposed building areas. They had some comments received from the Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority. So they moved some of the building area sites for both parcels out of the SVCA hazard lands and the recommended EP boundary. So we can take a look at that if people want to after finish the review, but the lands are zoned agricultural 1 and environmental protection, and they're designated agricultural. Gently slopes along the South Saugeen River. And again, lot creation agricultural designation is usually discouraged, although creation of farm parcel may be considered if both severed and the retained are 40 hectares of size or greater. The retained parcel meets the minimum 40 hectare and 200 meter frontage for the A1 zoning. And the proposed future building site includes a single detached dwelling, workshop, barn, horse and buggy shed. And the existing farmhouse is actually proposed to be demolished and existing entrance to Southgate Road 12 to be removed. The severed lot meets the minimum 40 hectare lot area and 200 meter frontage as well as required in A1 zoning. And this site proposes the severed lot includes an on-farm diversified use rezoning area, includes a single detached dwelling, barn, and horse and buggy shed. There's also a 4-acre pasture located to the south of the proposed building site. Based on township staff's review, we believe the proposed severance to create the two farm parcels is consistent with the PPS and the official plans. Both the severed and retained meet the lot area policy for the official plan designation and A1 zoning requirements. The building sites proposed are available. There are some adjustments to the setbacks, but from our preliminary look, we believe that they're okay, but that could be addressed in the zoning of the on-farm diversified use. And the proposed on-farm diversified use will require, again, a rezoning for further review. If committee has any questions as well, I believe Eli is here, the agent on this application.
Okay, thank you for that information, Victoria. Comes to the applicant is in attendance, so is it Eli? Would you like to make any comments on your application?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, I'm here to answer any questions. If they say questions, I don't really have anything more to say.
Okay, that's great. Oh, so the committee, are there any questions? Joan, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Victoria, you said you could take a further look at the recommendations and stuff. So if you could do that, just give me a little bit more idea, because I was a little bit concerned with the Saugeen conservation recommendation and also the setback from the Sig Valley land and the Coldwater River habitat. So if you could just give us a little bit more details as to how those concerns have been met or will be met.
Sure, through the chair. The applicant did update the site plan following, I believe it was a site visit the SVCA had. There was also Grey County identified, 30-meter setback from the significant valley lands, but they did waive an EIS. There were some proposed river crossings. That's all under the SVCA. They asked that it's part of, they call it like a sediment and erosion control for future construction, and that's all under SVCA. So they've already had a consultation with the SVCA as our recommendation, and they've moved the building sites and the dwellings out of those EP areas. And also, I think they've increased, they've revised the hazardous lands following their site visit as well. So the updated site plan is following the SVCA comments. So I don't know, Alicia, if you're able to share that just so that they can have a look.
Yep, I can share the drawing here now.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. I was just going to ask that. That's great. I think it's pertinent to look at it because on the one map I'm showing, there is a very large EP area to this application. So
yeah, so based on the SVCA, I don't know what they said on site, but it's all now outside of those areas that they had identified and that we had. We just wanted Eli to get some feedback prior to submitting the application.
okay. And through myself, Victoria, you said there was something about going over the river?
Yeah, I believe, I can't see it very well. To the south, there's a proposed crossing. Yeah, just towards the agricultural lands. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all known by the SVCA. And I'm not sure if they require a permit or not. Eli would know.
Well, that's good to know. They probably will. There was another one like that in the township. And the South Saugeen is a very big tributary to, and there is a municipal drain there. So that's good to know. Okay. After seeing that, are there any other questions from the committee?
Yes.
Oh, Monica, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, just one moment. Okay, yes, just through you, Chair. Just with regards to outstanding taxes and fees, are there any specific financial requirements, including any outstanding taxes or fees or charges that need to be addressed before the issuance of a certificate of consent?
Through the chair, I'm not aware of any. I'm not sure if there can be clarification from Eli or Alicia in that regard.
As far as I know, everything is paid up.
Okay.
If I may, it's just a standard condition for all severances that is checked and taken care of before a new lot is created. So you should see that every time. And we don't have any specific information on this one, but before the new lot is created, it will have to, if there is anything outstanding, that all has to be paid.
Thank you. So yeah, just a quick comment, just with regards to supporting like agricultural land use. I do think that's important, you know, with creating the two farm parcel, that it does align with the efficient land use and practices, and support agricultural community, and maintaining large viable agricultural parcels. So just wanted to make sure that there would be nothing that kind of would hinder that, which is the point of my question. So thank you so much.
And thank you again, Alicia, for bringing that up on the screen. It was good to see that. Any other questions?
Chair Shipton, it's Barbara DeBreen.
Thank you, Barb. Go ahead.
I just wanted to advise, I have no questions. I just wanted to advise that I lost video, but I am present on audio. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on. Is anyone in attendance that would like to speak in support of this? Obviously, there was one it's in support of. And are there any in attendance that would like to speak in opposition of this file? Hearing and seeing none, I will again ask everyone, the committee members, do you have anything more, any comments, any more questions? Seeing none. Can I request a mover and a seconder to grant, refuse, or defer this application? Monica, you're moving it. Seconder, please. Joan, thank you very much. The resolution is the Committee of Adjustment received staff report PL 2024042 for information and that the severance be approved with the following conditions. Number one, that standard conditions regarding parkland dedication, driveway access, and similar apply as recommended by other agencies and township departments, including that all requirements of the township, financial or otherwise, be addressed to the satisfaction of the township staff prior to issuance of a certificate of consent. Number two, that a reference plan of survey be provided. And number three, that all outstanding taxes, fees, and charges are paid, if any, out. Okay, we have a mover and seconder to grant. Any opposition? Seeing none, that will be carried. Thank you very much. So item 10 is adjournment. The notice of the decisions for today's meeting will be signed electronically by members and distributed accordingly per the Planning Act. And these decisions the committee decisions may be appealed pursuant to Section 17D of the Planning Act within 20 days of the date of the notice to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And the final is ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Brian, thank you very much, sir, and Monica at 9:54. So thank you very much.